Good morning. This is about to start the show here over Radio 1, Marketing Pulpit International. Running over here to the studio, about to get up in the booth. Got an exciting show today as always.
Thank you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. All
right, folks, get ready for another version of the Marketing Pulpit radio show. Glad you could join us. We're on.
1450 WOL, Radio 1 Incorporated, or their management.
All right, I'd like to welcome you to the Marketing Pulpit radio show. We are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good marketing gospel. We're not saving souls, we're saving businesses, we're saving jobs, we're saving our community. Now, if I happen to save a soul along the way, that's okay too. The mission here is to build strong businesses in our community so that we can put our people to work. And we do that with business development, job creation, and service. If you ever find yourself at a business crossroads and not sure which way to turn, I want you to turn on the Marketing Pulpit radio show because we are on a mission. I'd like to welcome everybody. I'd like to welcome the new visitors to the show. I'd like to welcome our loyal listeners and everybody out there in Marketing Pulpit land. We are broadcasting live from Radio 1, the illustrious studio down here in downtown Silver Spring, Maryland, right outside of the Washington, D.C. nation's capital. Just so much going on. I'm going to get up in my pulpit later on today. Most of the time when I get up in the pulpit, it's usually because of something I've experienced or something I've had to endure or something I want to share with the world. And today is no exception. Later in the show, I'm going to talk about the cost of perfectionism, the cost of procrastinating, the cost of putting things off. Now, some of you all out there don't have two pennies to rub together, and you're being a perfectionist, leaving ideas and money on the table because you're not getting off the pot, because you're not seeing the forest for the trees, because you're sweating the small stuff. And so later in the show, at 11 o'clock, I'm going to talk about why you are jeopardizing your success by being a perfectionist, a procrastinator, a ruminator. Now, I didn't just come up with this thought today nilly-willy. I have to deal with people day in and day out. And anything that's standing in the way between progress, your success, my job as a business developer, as the host and producer of the Marketing Pulpit radio show, I feel it's my duty, my obligation to put it out there. Anyway, I also like to welcome folks. Let me calm down for a minute. I'm going to welcome everybody to the show again. If you want to join us today, call us at 1-800-450-7876, 1-800-450-7876. I also like to welcome my good friend and somebody who's no stranger to the Marketing Pulpit show, Mr. Richard Myles. Good morning, Mr. Myles.
Good morning, sir. Nice to be here.
Mr. Myles is the owner and the CEO of the Manor Football League. Why don't you introduce yourself again to the audience, Mr. Myles?
Oh, absolutely. Richard Myles. I'm the owner of the Manor Football League with 32 franchises across the country, based here in Washington, D.C., in our nation capital. And, I owe Robert a lot with his show because his show right here brought a lot of people and potential investors to the Minor Football League franchise.
All right, folks. I am honored and pleased to be a part. And as a matter of fact, every blue moon, about once or twice a month, I actually am a co-host over at what's the name of your show over there on the DC radio?
Absolutely. Inside the MFL. We have our weekly show, which Robert, one of the co-hosts, we got the head of that business guru on there. That's what we call him. Along with Kelsey Nelson from Fox Sports Radio. We right there at the Office of Cable and Television, DC Radio.
All right. I love it. All right, folks, if you know somebody out there in business land and somebody who's suffering from the government shutdown, somebody who's trying to start a business, somebody who's really just trying to get off the pot with 2019. 2019 has already started, in case you hadn't noticed. If you're sitting around on the sidelines waiting for something to happen, it's not going to happen unless you make it happen. What do you think, Mr. Myles?
Absolutely. You sit around, you lose, you procrastinate, you wonder what happened. Then it'd be 2020. You wonder what happened to 2019.
Every time. So what we're doing today, we're trying to move people forward. We're trying to get you off the pot. We're trying to get you from sweating all the small stuff. I'm going to tell you, Mr. Myles, now I've been a business developer for almost 30 years. And I'm going to share this little nugget and I'm going to talk about this in detail at the 11 o'clock hour. I've dealt with businesses of practically every stripe. And the ones that made the most money the quickest, who are most successful, are the ones that did not sweat the small stuff.
Absolutely. Worry about those things. All you do is hold yourself up.
You just holding yourself up. And the ones, now I'm going to step on some toes this morning, so if you have tender feet, cover your ears. If you can't take the heat, you need to get out of this kitchen. The ones that had the least amount of money were the ones who were the perfectionists and the procrastinators. And that's why they're going to stay that way. You're sweating the small stuff while you're sitting over there arguing about these little minutiae, these things that don't make a hill of beans to anybody. Your competition is out there racking in the money. They are getting paid while you're sitting over there sweating the small stuff. I'm tired of it, and that's why that's going to be my topic today. Get 2019 off the ground and move forward. Forward. Move. Mr. Myles.
Hey, I mean, they can wait around, and you're not safe with a regular job. You got to understand the entrepreneur, meaning. And, Robert, it does a great job with that. And we still got people just still afraid. Just afraid.
They afraid to take risks.
They want the benefits.
They afraid to invest. They afraid to get their business started. And look, folks, this is not a beat up on people day. I'm just saying that somebody. Now we've got people out here that are keeping you on the straight and narrow when it comes to your faith and your religion. We have people out there that are beating the political drum. They're making sure that fools like Trump and people like that who are out here doing things that are wrong, they're holding them in check. We just had this great election a few months ago. Matter of fact, a couple of months ago. And so we've seen the checks and balance system now is in full effect. We got that covered. But we need a louder drum on this economics, on this business development, on making sure that our financial house in order. As a matter of fact, later in the show, we're going to have Miss Folasade. She's going to come on the show and talk about how this shutdown that we're experiencing right now is affecting you as far as your taxes and your accounting. So you don't want to miss that. That's coming up at 11:15. Speaking of the shutdown, now what I don't want you to do in this shutdown is to pick up bad habits. Because what happens?
We're picking them up already.
Tell you what happens sometimes, Mr. Myles. Sometimes we run into some tragedy, or we get thrown off our game. We run into a hard time, and we kind of lean towards some proclivities that we may not have otherwise.
Right.
And I know you have to do what you have to do during this shutdown. This is horrible. We have people out here who are the TSA workers. We have the people on the Coast Guard. We have regular, hard-working government workers who probably won't get a paycheck today because of this shutdown over a border wall that Mexico is supposed to be paying for. They
never was going to pay for that. Whoa.
That should be the end of the discussion. Mexico, call Mexico, tell them to pay for this wall, and let's open up the government. But we are where we are. So some people out there, you're facing some difficulties because of the shutdown, and you're having to make some decisions. What I don't want you to do, and I'm praying for you, I'm hoping for you, I'm rooting for you. As a matter of fact, I've had some people in my office that are experiencing this firsthand. Don't pull on some of the. Sometimes when things like this happen, there are predators out here.
Absolutely.
There are people that are willing to exploit the situation. Don't let that happen. Do not, I want you to resist the temptation to go out and start using these payday type loans.
Oh, yes.
That seems like a good idea at the time.
Don't believe
You're going to make that bill. You're going to take that pressure off for the moment. But let me tell you, people, that is a road to nowhere because it gets you into a cycle. See, the loan itself is not the problem. And there's some of these other items on this list I'm talking about. The short-term problem is not your biggest problem. It gets you pulled into a cycle, a never-ending cycle.
especially with those loans,
The
predator loans.
Oh my goodness. So resist that temptation. I also want you, don't get so depressed that you go out and start drinking and start
True.
doing things that's going to affect your health. Don't go out and start eating a bunch of fattening foods and unhealthy foods. When you're faced with hardship and stressful, precarious situations, sometimes it brings us to take one of our worst instincts. And sometimes our obsessions, sometimes that have lain dormant for a long period of time, they rise to the surface. I'm saying today, folks, let's resist that. This is a tough time, but you can beat this. And that's what I'm trying to help you do here today. That let's resist some of these urges that might get us in trouble. Let's not go out here and get into these payday loans. Let's not go out here and start drinking. Let's not go out here and start picking up bad habits that we had put away. And I'm going to tell you something else, too, that may be controversial. Because I'm talking about things that can draw you into a habit, that can change your lifestyle, and it's often for the worse. A lot of folks have taken on rideshare jobs on the side. They've gone with Uber, they've gone with Lyft, because they're doing things to try to make the ends meet. Folks, let me tell you something else, too. That can draw you into a cycle, too. Particularly business owners who have shelved their talents, their creative skills, the things that they are very good at, and they're using these rideshare and these opportunities to make ends meet. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying have a strategy for it, because you can get pulled in. Because let's say if you have a car and your car is like I think they have like a cutoff. If the car is older than 2009, you can't drive. Now you got to go get another
Rent one, that's another death.
They will rent you a car, and sometimes that car note can cost up to almost $300 a week.
2 minutes.
That would get you caught into a cycle. I'm not saying don't do anything. I'm saying have a strategy. Do not let this shutdown, do not let hard times, do not let things that are happening to you bring you into short-term decisions that will have long-term and lasting repercussions. That's all I'm saying. We have to do what we have to do to get from one day to the next. But let's be strategic, ladies and gentlemen. This shutdown is for real. It's affecting real lives. I'm just saying we're going to have to get past this. I heard Trump saying, hey, they'll survive. They'll manage. Well, we will manage. We will. But let's be smart about it. Let's be smart about it. Let's take this time to do some positive things. Think about that business idea. Think about that book that you've been trying to write. Think about saving. Think about visiting somebody. Call your mom. Call your aunt. Go to that person, that retirement home that you haven't had a chance to visit. Let's do something positive to keep our mind off the negative, and let's not be drawn to these negative proclivities that tend to manifest themselves when we are facing hardship. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And when I come back, we're going to have Mr. Myles. We're going to talk about the MFL. Also, we're going to talk quickly about what's happening with R. Kelly.
Oh, boy.
And I know that's ooh, Lord, have mercy. Mr. R. Kelly. Ooh. Anyway, don't go anywhere. Folks, you're listening to the Marketing Pulpit radio show. I am Robert Gatewood, your host. We are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. The number is 1-800-450-7876. 1-800-450-7876. Call us if you want to join the conversation. I have Mr. Richard Myles here of the Manor Football League. I hope some of his money rubs off on me while I'm sitting up here in this booth. Folks, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break.
Washington, D.C.'s News Talk, 1450 AM WOL, 95.9 FM.
Good morning, it's from South Dakota Avenue down to the traffic circle at West Virginia Avenue. On 295 southbound Pennsylvania Avenue,
Boy, I like that kind of talk.
shift over to the left.
Hey, what's up out there, folks? Thank you for joining the show today.
Pros and cons start with
we're going to talk a lot. We're going to, as you can tell, I'm a little fired up today. Sometimes I'm that way.
On time and on budget, visit
When I put my shades on, that means you can't see the red in my eyes. That means something got me so ticked off that I'm hiding the red in my eyes. Now, don't take that personal. Don't think I'm trying to be cool or trying to mac over here.
Later in the day, high near 34.
That means.
Anyway,
Well, I'm glad you all could join Lynette, Folasade, Robert, Internet. Hey, what's up there, Delaware blogger? All right, I'd like to welcome you back to the Marketing Pulpit radio show. And if you have been affected by the government shutdown, I'd like for you to call us and tell us how you're coping. Maybe you have a tip that you can share with others. I'm just telling them out, giving you my little 2 cents. But hey, who am I? I'm just the Robert Gatewood. I'm the Marketing Pulpit. I'm the host of this great show. Marketing Pulpit International is a registered trademark of Gatewood Marketing, and we are proud to broadcast here live on Radio 1 and WL. You can find out more about Radio 1 and WL by going to WLDCnews.com. You can also listen online using their app and by clicking on that link. So sometimes, especially you Facebook folks out there, go ahead and move it online when you get a chance. And let's support this station over here and what they're doing at Radio 1, because this is a platform that we need in our community. We have all these right-wing talk shows out here, folks spewing this untruths and garbage, gobbly-goop. Glad to have a platform like Radio 1. And thank Miss Kathy Hughes over here. And for the people that make the show possible, Miss Karen Jackson. She's in the sales department. So if you want to get a show or advertise on a very effective and loyal listening audience, contact Ms. Karen Jackson. Also, Mr. Ron Thompson, he's the program manager over here. He's been doing things great for many years. Mr. Alonzo, the engineer, I want to thank him for keeping the thing rolling. And also, we'd like to thank our guests, like Mr. Myles, our co-host. We have Teacher Hillman on the first Friday of every month. We have Miss Folasade, who's going to be joining us at 11:15. Man, this sister knows her stuff. I know a lot of folks been asking about these taxes and what's going to happen. Is taxes going to be due to regular time? Can I get my refund? Are things going to happen? Well, she's going to clear all that up at 11:15. And I'm going to talk about you procrastinators, you perfectionists out here. Done messed around and ticked me off. If I step on your toe, I'm just here to help you. I'm here because I love you. I'm here because I love you. They ain't mad at you. Just don't get mad at me. Of course, that's what they call it, that tough love.
Tough love.
Quickly about R. Kelly. R. Kelly, he's getting a lot of this movie called Surviving R. Kelly. Man, I tell you, I watched the first episode. Man, I was stuck. Now, I'm not even really a TV kind of guy, Myles, but man, whew.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people talking about it. I have not had an opportunity to look at it myself, but briefly, it's just a shame that if this what he did do, and then he should be punished. But the timing of these things. That's you notice that it's always they look like draw attention away from something else.
Well, you know what?
You know what I mean?
That's been the dichotomy, the challenge in our community, because we know the history. This country has a very dark past of the justice system hasn't been kind to black people in this country, and particularly black men. And so whenever a black man comes under fire for wrongdoing, no matter how egregious, we always have to look at it through that lens of history. And through that lens, sometimes we give somebody a pass that shouldn't necessarily get a pass.
True.
Or we try to rationalize away their action as, well, look at Trump. Well, look at what Trump is doing. Look at what Weinstein did. Look at what
Hugh Hefner did.
Yeah.
You know, these just...
Well, look, folks, we don't want to emulate the worst of the other side. I mean, that's not a good argument.
Look at all.
No, we don't want to be them. Let them keep that. Okay, they can have that.
Yeah, we have enough problems.
Yeah, shoot. We want to emulate the good things that people are doing, not the worst. And so now R. Kelly, his daughter has actually come out against him. She called him a monster. Lady Gaga has apologized, and I am sorry I ever did this video with him. John Legend and a few others have actually, but then again, there are other people who they know he did wrong, but they understand this history. And so I'm not mad at folks for being hesitant to publicly denounce. But at the same time, I don't want you to have your shades on, your blinders on like me over here, These are not blind, these are sunglasses, by the way, anybody who's watching on Facebook, because my eyes are red today because I'm
Fired up.
I'm fired up. Fired up
Fired
today,
up.
daggone it. I'm fired up in the house today. Ha, ha. Don't get my robe on later on. But anyway, I'm just saying, we don't want to be Trumpites that see nothing. It's like he said he can shoot somebody on the Fifth Avenue and nobody would care. We don't want to be that, okay? We want to be smarter and wiser. And plus, we want to lift people up that are doing great. People that are that have some transgressions, we want to help cure them, make them better, make them whole.
Absolutely.
And not try to emulate or excuse. There's a big difference. So that's my take on the R. Kelly thing. Look, I think the guy done some bad things. I think that we should be uplifting our sisters, supporting our sisters, loving our sisters, having their back, and not abusing them.
Right.
That's my issue. R. Kelly aside, we cannot turn our back when somebody is abusing our women. I don't care what color they are.
And that's the sad part of this. My take on it. These people knew, and all of a sudden, when someone makes an accusation, everybody pile on. You knew it from the beginning. Why you did not say nothing at the time?
Yeah.
Say something at the time.
Yeah.
Don't wait now. You knew it all the time. It's not something just all of a sudden appeared. You know what I mean? But like I said, if he's really guilty of this, and I'm not going to prejudge, he should be punished. But on the same hand, these other people that, worked with him over the years, I can't believe they did not know Robert. I can't believe that.
Well, see, that's opportunism, and we can do better. We can do better as a people. We can do better as human beings. And we're in this system of capitalism where just about anything goes. And we have to shake that. We have to be better. And that's one thing I preach to my clients when they come in the door of my company, Gatewood Marketing and Web. I pretty much dig deep down below. I said, I want to know your mission. Why are you doing this business? Are you doing this just to rip people off and make money and run off? If that's what you're trying to do,
this is not the place, huh?
This is not the guy you want to deal with, because I'm going to out you. I'm not going to take you as a client, first of all, and I'm going to make life miserable for you once I find out what you're doing. And we have to take more of that approach when we're dealing with businesses, personal people, celebrities, entertainers. We cannot be enablers. We have to shut it down, because sometimes if you catch somebody early enough, you can turn them around.
Absolutely.
So when you enable them, you are adding fuel to a fire. You are helping create a monster that you may have had an opportunity to save. That's the problem I have.
They had the opportunity to intervene, and they did not. So
R. Kelly was not always 52 years old and the abuser of dozens of women. At one point, he was a young, malleable, impressionable young man.
Right.
Somebody decided that instead of guiding him in the right direction, they decided to benefit from him. They decided to be a hanger-oner. They decided to, look, I'm going to put my personal good above the welfare of the community. And that is the kind of thing that we don't have the luxury of doing in our community.
We can't afford it now.
Lord have mercy.
He's fired up, y'all.
Fired up today. Folks, this is the Marketing Pulpit. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. We are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. We bring you the good marketing gospel. I'd like to thank everybody who's tuning in, all my faithful listeners and the people that are tuning in for the first time. Let's support our sponsors like BLE Executive Suites. BLE Executive Suites, Miss Bernadette Clay. This is a sister, man. We're talking about supporting our folks, supporting our businesses. Bernadette Clay, this young lady, she is the epitome, the poster child of how we're supposed to do it. She puts her family to work. She puts people in the community to work. She provides good business advice, and she provides a good service called the BLE Executive Suite. Somebody who needs an office space, somebody who needs someone to answer their phone, someone who needs someone to take the mail and take those UPS boxes. She has all of those services over there. I am honored and pleased to be affiliated with them. They've been a client and supporter of this show from almost the beginning. I've watched them grow from one location over in Largo, Maryland, over near the football stadium. Now they have a location down at the National Harbor. You can see the big old wheel outside the windows. They're right across the street from Tanger, then you're the MGM. And they most recently have opened a shop over in the Hub Zone over here in College Park.
Wow.
Folks, you don't have to do it the fast and easy way. Build a reputable company, build relationships, stop going after quick and easy money, and you can succeed. I had a question. I had a conversation with my good friend William Maxwell a few days ago. Matter of fact, it was this morning, and we were talking about. I was saying, William, let me tell you, I've been sharing this information with some of my clients. You can't. The reason you can't build a business quick and easy is because you can't build relationships quick and easy.
True.
And relationships are pivotal in the success of a business. So call the BLE Executive Suites. If you want to see it done the right way, call them at 301-322-1700. Start the new year with a new place, 301-322-1700, or go to BLE Suites and tell them Robert at the Marketing Pulpit ask you to call them. Mr. Myles, what's going on with the MFL, please?
Oh, man, Robert, is really just jumping up. Where we put franchises last year, we was interviewing general managers. Now we have general managers for those franchises down in Arkansas, the 49ers, and also it came with a 54,000 seat stadium along with suites.
Get out of here.
And we was just on the phone to make the deal. Matter of fact, they had the first black mayor in I think in Arkansas history, and we setting a meeting up with him, and the people were so they were so friendly. They said we wanted to flip over backwards. That's how bad we've been wanting a professional football franchise down there. Also down in Tennessee, where we have the Patriots, and we also have a GM down there. So we got where we did not finish in terms of all of our teams. Now this year we're getting people.
Hey, well, hang on there, Mr. Myles. We're going to finish up after the break. Folks, you're listening to the Marketing Pulpit radio show. Also, we have a couple of callers hanging on there, Mr. Maxwell. We have Kelsey hanging on. Hey, Kelsey, the sports lady. Folks, this is the Marketing Pulpit. Don't you go anywhere. We're going to talk about the cost of perfectionism. All you folks out here that's been affected by the government shutdown, 11:15, we have our tax expert Folasade. You don't want to miss that. The Marketing Pulpit will be right back after the break.
No word in the
So
English
excited,
language
bro.
is less
So
convincing
excited.
than
You should
the
have heard
problem.
that yesterday. I want you
Are
to
you
get,
sure
man.
we should get
And
matching
you better pick the
tattoos
show
on our
off.
first
I want you to appear on the show too. We're gonna do the TV's part of
Probably.
I am in.
Yeah.
I am in like Flint.
Get ready to go on TV.
Probably so.
But man, you're doing a great job, man. For y'all to listen to this, on Facebook, this is the man.
Talking about building relationships. This guy right here. Man, we've been hanging out for over a year now. And we just watched things that happen. Some of his folks have come into my circle. Some of my folks have gone into his circle. That's the way you build a business and an organization. Get those relationships. There is no shortcut or way around that.
Probably
I'm just
okay
telling you.
is
I'm just
okay,
saying.
especially when it comes to drinking and driving.
When
if
I
you're
come
drinking,
back, we're gonna
call
talk
a cab,
about,
a car, or a friend. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by
Finish up
Mensa
with
and
Mr. Myles here.
Napkins.
Talk about it more. Man, you got this.
Strawberry icing.
I gotta hear more about this MFL. What's going on in the 2019? We're gonna get Kelsey in real quick.
Miniature donut
But,
earrings.
I can't wait to get you on the show, man.
That's the scent of shopping success. Because at Goodwill, every
Go
item
to
you buy comes local
marketingpulpit.com
training and
also to
more.
find out more
So
about
bring
what's happening
home
with the
those
show.
donut earrings
The guests,
and
the
bring
contact
home so much
information,
good to your
and
community.
you can even go there and hear past
Goodwill.
shows.
Bring good.
So that's
home.
the
Brought to you
hub.
by
We're
Goodwill
also
and
on
the Advocates.
Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on
Washington,
Twitter.
W240
Just glad you guys
TJ
could join us
Washington,
today.
95.9, WPRS HD2 Waldorf, WKYS HD2 Washington, WMMJ HD2 Bethesda, and worldwide at WOLDCnews.com.
The views and opinions of the following show do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of News Talk 1450 WOL, Radio 1 Incorporated, or their management.
All right, this is the Marketing Pulpit. I am fired up today. When you see me with my sunglasses on,
Not because you want to be cool.
I ain't trying to Mac. I ain't trying to be cool. The sunglasses are like my it's like my virtual preaching robe. So when I pull out, so I'm getting in my robe, I'm really getting into my sunglasses because I don't want you to see the fire in my eyes. I want you to feel it. I want you to feel the vibe, feel the emotion that's going on over here. And what's got me all fired up today? Well, a couple of things. One is this shutdown that's affecting people's lives, and we have a president that seems to be bent on destroying this country. And I mean, no matter what your affiliation is, if you don't see something wrong with what's going on, then help your soul, Lord have mercy on your soul. Also, I'm a little talking about R. Kelly, and not just R. Kelly in a vacuum, but how we have, as a greater society, we have to check behavior that's detrimental to our society in general, and to particularly our women. Make sure that we are their protectors and not their abusers. And so I will always be, you will never hear me on the side of the abuser. Even when the Cosby thing was going on, as much as I used to like Bill Cosby and the hey, and the Fat Albert, but when I started realizing he was not just abusing women in general, he was also abusing some of our sisters, then of course he had a problem with me, and you will never find me on the side of the abuser when the evidence is indisputable. Mr. Myles is here with us today, and we're going to talk about we're talking about the amount of football league. Now, what else? We also have a caller on the phone. Kelsey, welcome to the show. Kelsey is also, now this is another one you got to watch. You're talking about somebody who is blowing the heck up there in New York with the big wheels and the, hey Kelsey, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. I mean, Robert, first of all, thank you always for your kind words and for your constant support. And like you said, though, there's just so much going on, Robert. It's hard to smile sometimes.
Yeah.
The government shutdown. I'm the daughter of two government workers. The R. Kelly stuff going on, and I've been following on Lifetime. And even in the sports world, we have so much going on. So trying to balance everything, Robert.
What's hot in the sports world right now?
Well, first, we're counting down to Super Bowl, so we have the playoffs. I'm really excited. One of the teams, the Kansas City Chiefs, are in it, and I actually just had Christian Okoye, also known as the Nigerian Nightmare for, I'll say, true football fans, if you guys remember having his playing days. So we're excited. We're catching Patrick Mahomes and really just getting closer to Atlanta for the Super Bowl. And then lots in college basketball. We have conference play going on. So I think everything's starting to heat up. And honestly, and then even in the NBA, I mean, lots going on here in Washington. We hope the Wizards are getting it together. But, you know, lots of great basketball going on. Watching LeBron in L.A., and of course, watching Golden State Warriors. It's a fun time right now to be a sports fan, Robert.
Well, I'm glad we got people like you out there on the scene, and just the fact that I'm glad to see more women in sports, and because when I see people like you, that means that we're closing some of these wealth gaps that we see between women and men, like 55% wealth gap in certain areas of the economy. And so to do that, we have to have people like yourself out there blazing that trail, opening doors for other women to follow. And so my hat is off to you for that. You're doing a great job. You're a good representation of womanhood in general, and you're a great sportscaster on top of that. So really, hats off to you, and thank you for joining the show today.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Robert, and thank you for bringing up the R. Kelly thing. I just want to say real quick. When you guys were talking earlier, one of the quick things I pulled was from a Malcolm X speech, and he said the most disrespected person in America is the black woman, the most unprotected person in America is the black woman, and the most neglected person in America is the black woman. And I just wanted to say that, and I hope the listeners really take that. This whole R. Kelly thing has been disturbing. Anytime we hear allegations like this, and there are allegations, but they're strong allegations between constant people. You brought up even his own daughter, being so hurt by this. And I think we need to start protecting our black women more. We can't put up for behavior like this because, unfortunately, he forced young girls to become women before they ever should have. And honestly, too, we just looked at sometimes the cost of money and how these will sell each other out. So I truly pray for those girls. And, I think R. Kelly, I think his day is coming soon. And we have to stop protecting these people no matter how much we like other stuff that they've done. The time is now, I think, to do what's right. It's always now to do what's right, but more than ever now, we have to stand up and protect each other.
Kelsey, you said it better than anybody can, and you are a good representative of the voice of black womanhood, and I really appreciate that perspective coming from you today. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Wow.
thanks so much.
That girl is good.
Yeah.
Kelsey is good. She is.
Well, and we will be looking at you for the Big East tournament at with the Big East at Georgetown tonight.
All right. I'm going to quickly shift gears, Miles, and feel free, we're going to jump back and forth with the MFL. But I need to talk about this perfectionism issue that I've been talking about.
It's important. It's important.
Because this is what has happened. Some of my clients have come to me, and a couple of things that are happening. They've not moved the ball as fast as they could. They kind of stuck in the starting block. Somebody shot the gun. The other racers are halfway around the track, and they're trying to adjusting the bar that you jump off of. They're making sure their shoes, that little scuff mark on the side of their shoes.
Wiped off.
Hey, we got to wipe that off first in case somebody in the audience see this scuff mark on my shoe. They're fixing their shirt. They're make sure their hair is right. And the other people are halfway around the field. Folks, that is the recipe for disaster. Now that scenario seems like an extreme parallel, but it is not that far off when it comes to some of our businesses. They are stuck in this paralysis. They're stuck in this thing called perfectionism. Perfectionism and professionalism are not one and the same.
It's so true, so true.
Hate to break it down to you folks. Perfectionism and professionalism, I know some people think that they're synonyms, but actually they're not. Now, what I'd like for you to do as a business owner, start thinking about this. Perfectionism has a cost. If you are low on funds, now this is if no other reason, if I can't get to you through any other way, think about perfectionism has a cost. It costs time and it costs money. Two things that we have no excess of. Two things that we should value and treasure. Now, I'm a business owner, been in business now during their 30 years. And I have seen companies rise and fall. And some of the ones that never got off the ground were the ones that were stuck on this perfectionism. Now, what does that mean? That means I'm going to break it down in layman's terms. You are sweating the small stuff. There's a company down in Virginia. I started working with them about almost 20 years ago. And they had an attitude called ready, fire, aim. Notice the order of the events. Ready, fire, aim. We are ready. Let's put this product out here. We can always come back and tweak it. We can, matter of fact, take the money that we made by putting it out early and build a better product and make even more of it and hire more people instead of sitting there trying to wait for the perfect product. Have you ever heard of Microsoft beta products? They test their products on you, the public.
There you go. Like every other company, big company.
That's right. They're not waiting for perfection. They are testing their products on you. Apple does it. All of the big companies do it. You don't have to wait for perfection, particularly if you're a small company experiencing cash flow. Now, somebody's going to bear the brunt of this perfectionism. And unfortunately, some of the business owners, they don't value the time that it takes to feed this monster called perfectionism. So that means usually the people that they're dealing with, their clients, their vendors, their suppliers, all these folks are bearing the cost of your perfectionism, and it will eventually cost you. It's going to cost you opportunity costs. It's going to cost you in time. It's going to cost you in money. We have a caller on the phone. Welcome to the show, William. Hello,
Good
William.
morning, Robert, and good morning to your guests. And
Good morning.
You're 1,000% on the procrastination situation. And that's one of the reasons why this year my company, W&M Print Shop, is starting a 48-hour express printing service just to deal with the procrastinators, because as we have noticed, Robert, in the past few weeks, you and I both have had quite a few last-minute people who were perfectionists wait right up to the 11th hour to get something done, and then you have to pull a rabbit out your hat.
And William, and I'm sure you agree with me on this. We're not saying don't be professional. We're saying don't be a perfectionist. Because professional means you're concerned about putting out a good product. You're putting your efforts, your time, your money in putting out the best product you can. and not worrying about whether the font size is right on your website, whether the right shade of blue is on your business card, whether...
Exactly. And a lot of times, Robert, people get so caught up in the things that when you look at it from a bigger picture perspective, that it's not going to change the needle one way or the other.
That's right.
Because at the end of the day, it's about how strong is your proposition.
And if I can't,
you got to get it out there. You can't keep.
You got to get it out there. You got to.
You're going to let your competition have an opportunity to get in front of the line if you're waiting.
And this is particularly precarious right now because competition right now is stronger than it has ever been. You're dealing with these direct competition that people are doing the same thing you're doing, but you're also dealing with indirect competition. You're fighting against Amazon, you're fighting against Walmart, you're fighting against these superstores. So you can't be sitting around here test tubing and running mice through treadmills while your competition is out there gobbling up the market. Now,
that's true, Robert, and even more so, the competition, they're like vultures. They're sitting there watching you procrastinate and waiting for an opportunity to swoop in and just take over that particular market that you may be just so happen to have your business in.
Now, there's
your
actually
procrastination could be, something that's going to be adversely affecting your business.
That's right. And even the medical community has chimed in. They call this ruminating. People who do this, they call them ruminators. And ruminators, it doesn't just affect your business life. It actually can have some repercussions on your personal life. Sleeplessness, stress, anxiety, social support. There's all kind of things that this condition can actually wreak havoc on your life. So this is what I'm going to ask you to do, because sometimes you find yourself, you realize that this perfectionism thing is starting to have an impact on your bottom line. It's affecting your social life. It's affecting other areas of your life. I want you to do this. Take a break from it. When you find yourself, let's say William sent you that logo design or that postcard that he designed for you. This guy's been in this business now longer than a lot of us have been alive. He probably knows better than you. Believe me. What's a good product? Why are you second guessing him and spending time on something that he has spent his whole life doing? I'm going to question the wisdom of that. So take a minute. When you, instead of ruminating, call your parents. Go do a crossword puzzle. If you got to use that energy. Take the dog for a walk. Come on, go volunteer. Pick up an old family member and take them for a ride. Visit the library. Do something else with that ruminating energy. Because if you don't, you're going to stress yourself out. You're going to cause your business to suffer. And you're not going to be a successful business. And I know you're saying to yourself, Robert, come on now. I want my business card the way I want it right. Come on, Robert. I want my website exactly. I want that logo moving in about 1/8 of an inch from the wall over there. Or move it back the other way a little bit. No, that was almost close. Let's move it back a little bit more. While your competition is out there counting the money. You over here counting inches between...
Wasted time.
Well, they're counting dollars.
They're counting dollars while you're counting inches. So I'm just saying, as a business owner, as a business consultant, this problem is causing some people to fail in business. I hate to be so direct and so blunt about it, but I've seen it. I've seen successful companies, big companies. They don't give a hoot about that little stuff. They too busy counting their darn money. Folks, this is the Marketing Pulpit. I'm going to take a quick break. Thank you, William. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk to Folasade. She's talking about what you folks doing over here about this shutdown. Are you going to get your refund, that EIC money? What is going on? We're going to get the answer when we come back. Don't go anywhere. The number is 1-800-450-7876. This is the Marketing Pulpit. We'll be right back after the break. What's up?
Good morning, SWL traffic update is sponsored by
Hey, Candace Camille.
Glasses in the comfort of your home.
I see Candace Camille. Boy, that lady. Woo.
Pennsylvania
I ran
Avenue.
into Candace the other day. They were opening up this new shop over there in Willpower, over in Fort Washington, Maryland. She does the plank, and she's going to be on my show this year. Matter of fact, we talked about that. So, Candace, I'm looking forward to having you on the show. Keep keeping those people in shape out there. I'm talking about doing some healthy things today, so I'm glad you tuned in and bring you on the show. We can talk about that more in depth. Hey there, Mr. James Harris. How you doing there, brother? Good to see you on the Facebook today. Miss Dorothy Harrington, thank you for joining us. Hey, Carol out of Livingstone. How you doing, sister? Good to see you. I hope everything is going well. We have people tuning in from all over the world. We actually had somebody from Nairobi, Kenya tuning in the other day. That's why we are Marketing Pulpit International. We get them from all over the place. If you don't know about the Marketing Pulpit, or if your friends don't know, share this Facebook Live. Let the world know. We're going back on the air. All right. Folks, I have my robe on today.
And preaching.
My robe is actually my sunglasses. I'm not macking. I'm not trying to be cool. But my eyes got fire in them. I'm fired up today. Tired of folks losing money. I'm tired of these businesses failing because somebody's out here trying to be a perfectionist. I'm tired of R. Kelly and people like that abusing people in our community. I'm tired of people not supporting our women. We have to support our women, guys. That's not debatable, okay? I know R. Kelly made some good music. I'm still stepping in the name of love in the back of my mind. But I'm still doing the Home Alone, that song that really used to be my anthem.
I can fly.
I believe I can fly. Well, look, let's fly out of here and go out here and protect our women. Also, let's go out here and make these businesses successful. Because I was talking about the cost of perfectionism. And this one, I'm going to give you some parting advice while I'm waiting for Folasade, the accountant, to come on and give us some information on this, how this shutdown is going to affect your tax situation, your filing dates, and any other thing that might be affected. I want to give you, let's talk about this cost of perfectionism once again. Now, take heed of this, because you can go out here and change your mindset tomorrow. I know it's hard. And I understand, because once upon a time, when I was poor and broke, I was a perfectionist too. Until I started working around some of these companies that were really getting paid. Man, I was like, so that's how you do it. You don't sweat this small stuff. You too busy counting your money to be worrying about some of this other stuff. And I kind of changed. I did like a flip overnight. No, I don't do like them. Those guys are making money. They're getting paid. They are getting paid. I knew this company out in Virginia I used to work with. Man, I used to laugh at them. It was so funny. I remember I used to do, I did their websites. I used to do their postcards. I would put the website up. I mean, I would send them like the proof. And I'm thinking about like my normal clients. I'm kind of like, they got to think about it for a week. They got to have committee meetings. They got to show their wife, their boo, their kids. I would send them the link before I can get up and go to the bathroom. They done send it back and say, let it go, fly.
There you go.
We got money to make. We ain't got time to be dealing with this. We got meals to feed, food. We got mouths to feed. And so I'm not saying I don't put some crap out there, but understand the difference between professionalism and perfectionism. There is a difference.
Absolutely. And what you're saying, Robert, is so true. Just like with the NFL, we expanded the league, and a lot of people were worried about, I said, let's go. We're going to go with it.
That's right.
We're not going to worry about it. And, that's what I tell people about me as an individual. I call myself a maverick, meaning that a maverick is somebody that, I'm going. I'll worry about getting back when I get there, but I'm going to do so good won't be no need for me to come back.
That's exactly right.
So you have to go with it. You can't just keep waiting around and hoping something's going to be perfect to your liking, because that don't necessarily mean to be perfect with somebody else liking.
And remember this, perfectionism does not exist in a vacuum. It must be weighed against your goals, your priorities, your audience, and your time. Perfectionism is a classic example of confusing the means with the end.
True.
Study up on that. Perfectionism has cost. Somebody is paying for that cost, either you or you passing it on to somebody else. Perfectionism is not an absolute. One person's perfection may be another person's opinion. Think about your audience. It's always it's almost always better to complete the task imperfectly than to miss an important deadline or opportunity by trying to make it perfect. Because when you complete the task on time, you have options. You can go back and get it right. You can't do that when you miss that deadline because you were shooting for perfectionism. If you want to do this, tell you what you can do. Do a beta test. If you want to be, if you're one of those perfectionists, put it out there. Let the public try it out.
Right.
Tell them that it's new. Tell them that it's in its trial stages. Tell them they may have some bugs. Make it fun. Make it a game. Make it free. But whatever you do,
Put it out
get it out there. Stop procrastinating and stop trying to be perfect. Boy, I gotta put my robe back on. Do like James Brown, baby, please don't go. Hey, folks, I tell you what now, some of you folks are being affected by this shutdown. Now, I got my accountant, my numbers lady on the phone. Folasade, welcome to the show.
Hey, Robert, how are you?
You see, I'm over here preaching. I'm sorry, I had to get it out here today. I'm sorry, but sometime I just can't bite my tongue anymore.
No, we can't, Robert. We can't bite our tongue no more.
And Folasade, she doesn't bite her tongue either. Now, Folasade, tell us quickly, what's going on now? This, this shutdown got folks all tied up in knots. People wondering if they're gonna get their IRS checks, if they're gonna if the tax date's gonna be moved back, and they do things quickly, differently. How is this shutdown affecting your world and people in it?
You know what? To be really honest with you, Robert, it is affecting us, but it's not.
Okay.
Because tax season really never officially started until January 15th.
Oh, is that right?
But if you think about last year, tax season didn't start until the 23rd.
Wait a minute. Did it?
And the year before then, the 28th.
Now, who determines when the tax season starts?
The Commissioner of Internal Revenue Services.
So this one hasn't started yet until the 15th.
It don't fit. That's the normal day. Years and years, it's always been January 15th. But because of all of the recent changes and the fact that they want to reduce fraud, they've actually pushed back the due date.
See?
Okay?
That's why you got to get folks on here that know what they're talking about. I didn't even know that. So what we're talking about.
Yeah. So like last year, for example, anybody that qualifies for earned income tax credit or the child tax credit, they could submit the return in January, but they don't receive their refunds until after February 15th.
Oh. And that's why people, I guess, they get these refund anticipation loans, because they got all this money floating out there, and they're trying to get some money so they can, like I said, make ends meet while that big money is coming to them.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Well, let me ask you this now: people have been asking about, can they get their refunds on time? So you're saying right now everything is just the way it always been. Nothing has been affected as of right now.
So this is the thing, though, Robert. Nobody never really received their refund on time unless it's like me and you.
Mm-hmm.
Regular people that don't qualify for those, what they call poverty tax credits.
And that's the EIC. Explain that to people, because a lot of these.
Exactly.
Explain to people what that is.
Okay, so the earned income tax credit is a poverty credit. If you were to go in Congress, it is an extra amount of money for families that are considered low income.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, well, your family don't meet the minimum poverty limit, so here's extra money based on the amount of money that you earned in your job.
Okay.
So it's an incentive for people, low-income individuals, to continue to work, but also like, okay, you have that one set of income. Here's extra $5,000 that your baby daddy would have given you, or your husband would have contributed.
Okay, and so that is the tax season really starts out with that crowd first. They're the ones who are going to be more affected by anything that's going on right now than somebody who would normally file by the 15th of April.
Exactly. So, like, for example, if you were to get a refund, Robert, you'll get yours because it didn't include any type of poverty-based credit.
Okay. Well, you must not see my W-2 lately. But maybe I might qualify. But I know what you mean. I know exactly. Hey, it's rough out here, brother.
Yeah, no, that's what's going on, Robert. I honestly believe that everybody just needs to be patient because it's just the norm. It's just that it's so much more chaos than what we're accustomed to that people are being blindsided.
Yeah, they're anxious, but for no reason. It sounds like that's what you're saying.
For no reason, basically.
It's creating this anxiety, this alternate universe of the way things used to be, and now they feel like their whole world is upside down, and they're creating some unnecessary. It sounds like just unnecessary angst because everything else is so in turmoil.
Robin, it's so unnecessary because what they have to understand is that their job don't even have to give them the W-2s until January 31st. Ooh. So even if tax season starts today, 90% of workers don't even have their W-2s.
So it sounds like Folasade, I don't know what
she on top of it.
Sounds like she's saying just chill. Sounds like Folasade, look, we got enough stuff to worry about. Worry about getting your food, get you some money for the shutdown.
Right.
Get you another job if you have to, but don't worry about Uncle Sam and the IRS.
Right. Let them do what they're doing because, to be honest with you, Robert, they're going to delay all of those child tax credits. Oh, and this is the thing, Robert, is not only the child tax credit and the earned income tax credit now. If you are claiming university school fees, the American Opportunity Credit, right, or the Lifetime Credit, right, or tuition and fees deduction credit, you will not receive your refund on time either.
Wow.
Because they wanted to, the fraud was so prevalent last year and the previous year, they want to make sure that they receive the forms from the university first.
Folasade, I'm going to run out of time. I hope we can call you back again as we get more questions on this, and I'm sure we will because people are a little anxious and they need a calming voice like yours. Now, if somebody have any other questions about this or anything tax related or accounting related, how can they reach you?
Yeah, they can give us a call at 202-618-1297. The office is open. We're accepting new clients. I'm excited, Robert, because my goal is for these people to not go to these black market tax professionals. Like, don't go to these people on the street right now. Like, go to professionals.
And Folasade is a professional, and I'm proud to say that because this sister knows her stuff. Thank you, Folasade. Now, her information is also on the Marketing Pulpit homepage. Go there, find out more about Folasade, find out more about the Minor Football League, and we're going to have Mr. Myles back also. He's a regular over here. So, folks, that's going to wrap up the show for today. Thank you, Mr. Myles.
Thank you for having me.
And we're going to get you back and talk more about what's going on with the MFL. Folks, that's going to wrap it up for today. If you want to be successful, you got to do these three things. Do the right thing, do the right time, and you got to do it right. And whatever you do it now. We out of here. Guys for listening to the show today. Yeah, I'm on my pulpit today. But I want to thank you guys. If you have any questions or need any help with any of the things we talked about today, we got Mr. Myles here. We got the MFL. Find his information on the Marketing Pulpit. Go to Folasade. Need any accounting help? We'd like to support everybody who's listening and watching, and want to say hello to you. And join us every Friday at 10:30. Also, share this information. This is valuable information. We need to get this information out into our community, so feel free and please share this on your Facebook timeline. And looking forward to seeing you next week, the same time. And we're out of here. Thanks a lot.